Can you talk a little bit about recording American Pie, why you decided to do that song, especially it's so long to memorize all those lyrics? What went into that decision?
Oh, well, the memorization part is not the hard part. The hard part was cutting down all the verses, because the original was like 8 minutes long, 5 incredibly long verses. It's quite strange. I mean, the thing is, I guess the hook of it is pretty accessible, but the verses are really abstract, complicated, and none of them are exactly the same melody-wise. But it wasn't my idea; it was Rupert's idea, and I didn't really care about it in the beginning. He just kept telling me I should do it, and I kept going, "Why? You should do it. It's your idea. You make a record of it." And then finally, he gave it to me, and I listened to it, and it kind of like stuck with me, and I don't know. I ended up doing it.
Were you a fan
of Don McLean?
Yeah,
I was actually. I did know the words to the song already as a child, so that part came in handy.
What was the process by which you got involved in this film, and where did you come in relation to Rupert and John Schlesinger?
Rupert and I've been friends with Rupert for years, and we've always talked about working together. So basically, Rupert came to me with the original draft that Tom Ropolowski wrote, and he said, does this story interest you? It needs a lot of work. And I read it, and I said, yeah, it interests me, but I agree, it needs a lot of work, and I can't really commit to it until that work is done. So then Rupert got involved with sort of custom making it or tailoring it more for us to do, and making it, I think, a much more interesting, layered story than the original. And did I answer the question? And John Schlesinger was Rupert and myself. I have that in education. It was our choice, because we basically, we got the script to a certain place, and then it was, okay, who do we want to direct it? So, and I'm a huge fan of John Schlesinger, and so is he. So,
this is your first movie since Evita, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Was it good to get back and do a movie again?
Yeah, it's good to get back there and get in the ring. Yeah, it was, and well, it was great. I really had the luxury of spending a lot of time with the material, and spending a lot of time with the script and the writing of it with all the writers. And then we had, I studied with an acting coach. We had months of rehearsal. My yoga teacher sort of, I based my character really on her, my female yoga teacher in Los Angeles. I have several kind of all over the world, but she's one of my favorite teachers, and I kind of based the way I dress and the way my house is decorated and everything on her. And I became her assistant, and for a couple of months I helped teach her yoga class. And so I had lots and lots of time to prepare and get into it. And so I consider that a luxury.
What do you hope comes out of the movie for audiences? And everyone's all talking about the poor alien situation in Cuba now. You think about kids and homes and families and. So.
Well, every story's different, I wouldn't venture an opinion on the Ilian situation, because I don't know what his situation with his family is. But, I think more than anything, I think it's important that people understand and accept that, families come in all shapes and sizes, and, the notion of the nuclear family and, 2 parents together with the kids that they gave birth to, that's a pretty rare scenario these days. And I think that people have to learn to be much more open and tolerant about those situations, those family situations, so that people don't feel strange. Because, how many families do you know that really are, nuclear families right now, that everyone's together? And, I don't know that many, actually.
What did you think of the behavior of your character in the movie?
I don't know. I guess I was a shit. It's so funny, because I was watching the movie with one of my best friends, and she slugged me in the middle of the screening. She's like, "Oh, how could you do that?" I said, "I didn't do it. My character did it." So, I probably wouldn't have made a lot of the choices that she made, but people do lots of crazy things when they're in love, when they're afraid of losing something they care for, and I think Rupert and I both did stupid things in the movie.
How about working opposite Rupert? You two knew each other before, but actually working with him as an actor, what was that like?
It was great. He taught me a lot, and he was a pleasure to work with.
Was
Do you
it
see
sort
doing
of-
more movies with them?
I'd love to.
Maybe like a Tracy Hepburn kind of thing?
Oh yeah, that would be great. I think we have really good chemistry. So
Did it weird you guys out to do like kissing scenes and love scenes together? Or?
we didn't have any love scenes.
Well-
We just had a kissing scene. It was a bit weird, but you know, you just got to do what you got to do.
What was it like?
I mean, he is attractive.
What was it like?
He is attractive, but it's what's weird. I mean, if I didn't know him properly, it would have been easier. Do you know what I mean? Because he's my friend and he has been for so long. That part, it's kind of like kissing your brother, I think.
You've been quoted as saying he'd make an ideal husband.
Well, he would sort of. I mean, there's just like one missing ingredient. So I was being a bit flippant about that, but you know, he's a lot of fun to hang out with.
What about that impromptu dance scene where you all are breaking? What was it like to do that? I mean,
Well, we had to, actually, it wasn't so impromptu. I mean, we had like tons of rehearsals for that because Rupert had 2 left feet. And he used both of them to step on mine all the time. But we had to like learn ballroom dancing, which, you know, wasn't necessarily new for me, but but Rupert did very well. But it was fun. It was really fun. That was like one of my favorite moments when we were filming. 'Cause, you know, I got to get out of my shabby wear. That's what Rupert calls me in the. Well, he calls my character Shabby on the set. Poor tragic Abby. But it was like the only chance for us to get dolled up and glamorous, and so that was fun.
Sorry, one of the most interesting questions I think that this movie brings out is the question of the nuclear family versus the non-traditional family that's trying to make its way into the world now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What are your feelings on that?
Listen, I mean, I think the most important thing for families is love, and if I mean, if a gay couple wants to have a child, they shouldn't, you know, have any sort of prejudice against them for wanting to raise a child. And if a woman wants to have a child on her own and she's not married and she isn't in love with anybody, she shouldn't have anything held against her for that. I think that, you know, families come in all shapes and sizes, and that we have to be tolerant about that. And I do think that oftentimes, you know, the traditional, conventional mother, father, children scenario, you know, oftentimes, you know, I don't think people should stay together no matter what. I think a lot of times they're really toxic, unhealthy environments. And I'm not sure if I'm answering your question.
Do you think you changed the public's perception because of the way you have, you know, handled your life, your lifestyle?
I'm not the first single parent, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine that I have, actually.
You're more famous, though, I would think.
Yeah, but there's lots of celebrities and people in, you know, the public eye that have children, they're not married and stuff like that.
What do you think of Julie Cypher and Melissa Etheridge's decision to have babies with David Crosby?
Whatever floats your boat.
Any rock stars you'd like to father your next child?
Not really. I mean, I'm not usually attracted to rock stars, so.
well, speaking of the next child, well, you know, you're not going to be a single mother with just one child, are you, Madonna?
Well, hopefully I'll have another child and I won't be a single mother. I didn't plan it to work out that way. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me in that area.
So there's no news to report yet, right?
No. Not yet.
You're actually working on another record album,
Yeah.
right? Is the sound going to vary at all from Ray of Light, which was already such a departure?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm working with William Orbit on some of the music, but I'm working with another guy called Mirwez. He's a Afghanistan French person, and he's sort of come out of the whole electronic music scene in France, and it's going to be different.
Is there any way to describe, will it have a sort of new age feel or a dance feel, or is it...
Dance, definitely. Electronic, futuristic. I don't know about new age. Nah, I don't think so.
How instrumental is William Orbit going to be in this new recording?
What?
How instrumental is William Orbit going to be in this new recording? Because I know you worked with him.
Kind of half and half.
Yeah.
Half and half, yeah.
And how's he to work with as a producer and writer and just as a person?
He's great. Yeah, he's really great.
Two things. Could I ask you to sit a little closer to the mics again? And thank you.
But I really project when I talk.
You sound so much better when you talk.
One of the first images we have of Abby, she's actually holding the baby in the studio.
Mhm.
I thought, and then obviously you get to spend a lot of time with the child who plays Sam in the movie. Do you think that you play her differently, being a mom, than you might have years ago? Do you have different reactions and responses to kids now?
Of course I do. I mean, I loved children before, but I didn't really have that personal experience of being a parent, so I'm sure it's different. Yeah.
Was it enjoyable to play the role of a mother?
Yeah, it was great, I must say.
Well, working with a child actor.
Well, that was enjoyable too.
And you see your daughter grow up, I mean, you're beginning to see her personality develop.
Oh, yeah.
We all do as parents.
Yeah,
Can you
definitely.
Talk a little bit about what you're seeing there.
She's incredibly strong-willed. She's an exhibitionist. She has a very sardonic sense of humor. Dramatic.
Does she sing?
Oh, yeah. She has perfect pitch.
Is she showing traits that you say, oh no, not that, or this is, you know?
Let's see. She's very, very fashion conscious. I don't think I was like that when I was younger, but I don't think I was exposed to so many nice clothes either. So she does have an opinion on what I wear every day. I find that very disconcerting.
She says,
That looks nice, Mommy, or I don't like those shoes, or whatever. She always has an opinion.
Do you listen to the opinion?
Yeah, sometimes.
Does she connect with your music?
She just connects to music. I mean, she always knows it's me on the radio, even if it's old songs and stuff. She says, that's Mommy, whatever, but she loves music. I mean, she has pretty eclectic taste. She listens to Charlotte Church. She listens to Mary J. Blige. She's all over the map, because we listen to everything, so.
Speaking of music, what do you think of the merger and what's it going to do with Maverick Records, the AOL and Time Warner?
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
No.
A lot of people.
I am not the business person everyone thinks I am.
A lot of people think it's going to change the landscape quite a bit, and I just wondered if,
I'm sure it will, and I hope it's for the better, but the thing is I don't get too involved in that side of things, because then it gets in the way of me being creative. It seems like there's always changes and upheaval in my record company anyway, so I'm always crossing my fingers.
Speaking of which, I'm wondering, I'm guessing that one of the good things about being where you're at is you can, when you're putting a soundtrack together or putting a new album together, you can try out newer people or, gals who aren't as experienced, like Christina Aguilera and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So what's that like, putting the soundtrack
What?
together?
It was a lot of hard work, actually, I have to say. I never thought it was going to be so difficult. Finding music that I personally like that would also work in the film, and that John Schlesinger would like, and that everybody was going to dig. That was the hard part. Because I think I have pretty sort of avant-garde taste, shall we say, when it comes to music. I don't generally go for really mainstream stuff. So, and most of the artists that are on the record are English artists or European artists. Not too many American. Just me and Christina. And yeah, is that it?
Do you ever give any advice to newer acts?
Do I? No.
I mean, it's kind of like watch your acts.
I don't think they need me to tell them that. I mean, most artists that are coming up right now are a lot more sophisticated than I was about what to look out for and have much more business savvy.
But you've always been so bold and, what?
Okay.
But it's true. And, I think I'm sort of getting the feeling now, it's like if somebody said, how do you feel about being a role model or whatever, you go, oh, no, not me. And we all know that whether you want to be or not.
Well, what's that got to do with being bold? I mean, I don't have a problem being a role model. If people look at me as a role model, I'm happy to inspire people or to be looked up to. I haven't got, I mean, in fact, it's great to be able to be bold and be a role model, because usually you don't think that those two can coexist. So, yeah.
One of the interesting things that the film explores is friendship itself, just the institution of friendship, because here are two best friends. You also have a group of girlfriends. And certainly in the public arena, people always, every year it seems like you have a different best friend. But can you just talk about what friend, you know, because one year it's Rupert, or another year it's Rosie, or another year it's Juliet, or, you know, whomever. And I'm just wondering, in your own life, how important is the role of friendships? And is it necessary that one has a best friend, or do you have just a bunch of dear friends?
I think that friendship is extremely important, and I think I invest a lot of time in nurturing my friendships, and I would say that I have a bunch of dear friends, a handful, and I am very good friends with all those people that you named.
So talk about, since you do with the film, then how that theme of when friendships are tested too. What can people, because the film takes, you know, there are a lot of twists and turns. It's not a romantic comedy per se. So, you know.
Well, I've definitely had those experiences in my own friendships. We all go through that sort of, you know, I've had moments of not speaking to all of those people. You know, I mean, but that's the way it goes. But you know, friendships, if they're true friendships, they're resilient, and you bounce back, and that just, you know, adds another layer to them.
In the world in which we live, everybody's a little more cautious, but it's been especially tough on celebrities lately, like the thing in London and a long catalog of stuff. Are you able to live your life without having that hang over you like a black cloud?
You mean what happened to Princess Diana?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more of what happened recently to, you know, one of her heroes, George Harrison.
Oh. Do I live more cautiously as a result of that? Is that what you're asking me? No. I mean, I think I'm a pretty cautious person anyway, so, but listen, you can only do so much. You can have, you know, your house wired, and you can have tons of security guards, and you can be really vigilant, and, you know, still things happen. So, I mean, I think that the best protection is good karma, and that's all I can say, because lots of people have, you know, had really horrible things happen to them, and they've been incredibly aware and vigilant. So,
does it feel good to be bringing yoga out into the world like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to do that.